it's a vulnerable thing to go through. I mean, you're in pain, you're trusting this person to etch something into your body for the rest of your life.
As a lot of tattooers who've tattooed faces will know, it's actually not that bad to tattoo a face. It's pretty chill. From my experience anyway, I always find it's pretty easy to tattoo a face. The scary part is like this is permanent, but when it's on the face, it's permanent.
And YG wanted to spend the time not doing the festival at a studio, finishing his album that he just came out with. So he would pretty much, we got a beat going and he was just writing while he was there, and then he'd get this tattoo and then he'd go do a take, and it's about 1 or 2 in the morning at this point that he's getting this done. It was a super wild experience because the energy was, I've never been around that kind of energy before. It was crazy. For me, it makes it easier to remove my negative self-image if I'm looking in the mirror or anything like that. And noticing I'm body checking or negative self-talking, it's a lot easier to be like, look at this awesome tattoo. It's fucking sick. It is huge.
It is life size. Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah, there you go. You can see that. It's about, it's probably bigger than me. I'm not a big dude. But yeah, probably like 30 to 40 hours. I lost track.
Like the classic green.
Classic tratty red.
Tratty
green.
Classic tratty colors. No, it's chill.
Packing the solid areas gets a little bit spicy at the end.
Oh.
There we go.
That's so awesome, Josh. I'm not even looking at it properly, but it looks so cool.
Welcome to Freestyle Tattoo Studio. We are coming to you live from the scene of a pretty special moment for the Flats. We're doing a tattoo live while doing a podcast with Josh and Nicole, aka Groovy Daughter. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
We're
us, man.
all set up here. I hope everyone at home can see. This is a bit of a technical test as well, so we're just giving it a shot while we're here. But yeah, we've got the tattoo already stenciled onto the leg of Nicole, where she's getting an amazing piece from Josh, one of the legends of Canberra's tattoo scene here. And yeah, for all those watching at home, please hit your comments into the chat with any questions for the team here. We've got a 5-camera setup, so we're gonna try and show you and cover this from all angles. Guys, welcome. What's going through your mind at this stage, getting the first touches going?
We should have done the stencil reveal for camera. It's always the best fucking part.
It is.
So
It always feels the best too, because there's no needles involved. So.
we'll mimic it. Oh, look at that, it's a stencil peel. Look at that. Now we're good. Now we're good to go. Now we're good to go.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see this process sort of firsthand. It's something that probably, if you haven't had a tattoo, you don't know, or if you haven't sat in with someone getting a tattoo, you might not know. So I think this is going to be interesting for a lot of people to see behind the curtain of the tattoo parlor and really dive into what it's like to get a tattoo. But yeah, Josh, what's your general process, and where do you start with something like this?
So yeah, we got the client in the chair. We're ready to rock and roll. We've agreed to the sizing, the placement. We're all happy. We're ready to rock. So we're going to start with some line work first.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
This is my first tattoo ever. I'm
first one ever.
First one ever.
Yeah.
I am actually quite nervous. It's been a while, and I do need to pee, but that's okay.
You look very comfortable there, Nicole.
Good.
Beautiful. So yeah, normally I'd be like using my old coils. That's my normal go-to, but we thought that might be a little bit too loud with the mic, so we're just going to go with the old wireless rotaries. for ease and for listening pleasure. Sweet, dude. So, you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
You.
And when I first asked you about this, Josh, I was wondering if this is even something that's kind of possible to do. Is talking while you work? Is it?
Oh, it's kind of
a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the job, isn't it? Well, like everyone's a little bit different. Everyone, some people like to just sit in silence and chill and focus on the pain and the process. Some tattooers like to put some headphones in and just zone out and get into the work. But for the majority of tattooers, we do like to have a chat to our clients and see how they're going, chat to them, become try make the experience a pleasurable one.
Well, I guess if you're doing it all day, you got to chat to someone. Otherwise, it is just podcast in all day.
100%. Like, I wouldn't class myself an extrovert. I'm a little bit of A, a little bit of B. I like to be introverted. I like to be extroverted. But it's one of those things like when I'm at work, when I'm at a client, I'll turn on the old social battery and have a good chat.
Yeah.
But it depends on the client too. Some clients, they just want to chill.
Yeah.
They might want to jump on their phone and
yeah.
Watch some TikTok or just do their process, and I'm cool with that. And we can sit in silence, and I'll check in on them. But no, the best experiences are when we get to actually chat about something. I always find common ground with someone if it's music. I'm a bit of a nerd myself, so anything kind of nerdy or.
Do you play Magic the Gathering? Can we nerd out? Or is that too much?
No, I've done a few Magic the Gathering tats.
Hell yeah.
I used to play back in high school. I don't anymore, just because it's a fucking lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But no, I've done a few Magic the Gathering tats.
Yeah.
The recent one I did was I think one of the first edition counter spells with the wizard. He's got like little noodles coming out of his fingers.
Cool.
Kind of looks like Gale from Baldur's Gate as well. So we banged that one out, which I was fucking keen for.
I fucking love Baldur's Gate.
So yeah, if there's any Magic the Gathering fans who want tats of their favourite cards, hit me up. I'm always down for that shit.
Or Gale fans.
All Gale fans, do a Gale eating a boot. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, no, I always love doing like weird. Like if someone's got a cool idea, I can make it a lot fucking weirder. If we're kind of down for that. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. How's the pain so far?
It's actually fine. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. A lot of people always think getting a tattoo is like an excruciating, painful, fucking thing, but
it's an endurance. I think I feel like initially, it's always fine. Well, it also depends on the place. I prefer harder pains like bone. I don't like really soft, fleshy spots getting a tattoo.
That is so fair. And
yeah.
I would say, especially with the leg, a lot of people think the shin would hurt a lot more and the calf would be like super chill.
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
It's so the opposite.
The calf is the sleeper of the tat spots.
Yeah, I did not know that, and I went and got one with Chingy, and I had to time out for a second there. I was like, damn. Yeah, there's just something. Yeah, I feel like when it's on harder surfaces like the shin or on bones, your body absorbs it a bit more. You can't necessarily feel what you're doing specifically, but when it's on softer pain like the butt or the thigh or the stomach, like you can feel the line, and it feels like it's just hitting. It's not getting. Your body's not ricocheting it out anywhere.
It's just absorbing the pain.
It's just absorbing it. And because you can feel where you're up to in the tattoo, the time just goes so slowly.
And that's why I like to, have a bit of a convo and keep clients entertained, because, when you're sitting in silence and you're focusing on the pain, time tends to drag a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
So, if, you've got something to look at, the walls are covered with cool shit and you're having a good laugh with your artist, the whole process, tends to fly by a lot faster and it's a lot more fun.
You guys should invest in those dentist office things where they have stuff going on the roofs.
The laughing gas?
Oh yeah, that would actually be way better. Yeah, you guys should give me some drugs next time I come up. That'd be easier. No, you know when they stick stuff on the roof?
Yeah,
It'll be like a scene or there'll be like a TV. I feel like that would be fine. That would be awesome, actually.
I've definitely wanted to put flash up on the ceiling.
Yeah. Actually, there are some places that do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is I'd be so scared about one of the flashboards falling down.
Yeah.
That would definitely suck.
We've got your mum, Nicole, in the chat.
Oh no.
She always pops up somehow.
Sorry, Mum.
And requesting to be the next person to receive a tattoo.
Oh, Mum's trying to she's got one tattoo. It's super fine line. It's on her ankle. It fell out. And she keeps giving me the job to sort it out. And I don't know why I'm that person. But for sure, Mum, I think you should get a big old tratty on your stomach or your chest or something.
Well, Nicole's mum, I'll hook you up.
Yeah, come into Freestyle Tattoo if you're looking for a tattoo, because this has just been awesome being here and setting up all day. So thank you very much to Freestyle for having us.
You're very gentle and fast.
I've been told I am.
Got a very gentle hand.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just always have.
I like it.
It's a bit of a selfish plug. But yeah, no, I prefer having a bit more of a kind of soft hand. You know, it's better.
Oh, it's better.
The clients seem to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing worse than getting your literal bone tattooed.
It does rattle through. But tell us a little bit more about yourself, my dude. Tell the viewers who maybe don't, you know, maybe they don't know you. What do you do? What's your deal?
You know what? I will say this, when I get tattooed, conversationally, I tend to shut down because my body's going into shock. So I'll try my best to explain myself. My name's Nicole. I was born here in 1998. I'm gonna say South Side, I think.
We won't hold that against you.
Well, I live north side now.
A convert, nice.
I'm not a convert. I'm just neutral. I'm a neutral player in the system.
Party.
I like both sides of the lake.
Perfect.
I do prefer the south side. That's just because you guys have bigger trees. I'm a artist in Canberra. Haven't released anything in a hot minute, but I'm a recording artist or a musician. I'm also recently been producing, doing some stuff in the studio with my friend Kojo. We opened up well, not me actually. Financially, I'm not absolutely a part of it in any sense. I'm just there for the pipes. But there's a new studio in New Acton called Lake City. So that's really, really cool. That's been really fun. It's a whittle space. She's very cute. What else about me? I used to do musical theatre as a kid.
On the last episode, we pulled up one of your early year videos of you singing, which
you know
was
what?
great. Yeah.
Since last time being on the podcast years ago, I don't think I've done anything new since. So, isn't that fun?
Yeah, surely.
Not release-wise.
Really?
Yeah, I like to play the slow game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the listeners waiting for years.
Keeping them wanting. You know?
Keeping them wanting for years and years and years. Abstinence.
Like Oasis. It worked for Oasis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how have you been enjoying the producing side of things? Because that is something new that you have been doing.
Oh yeah, that is.
You that wasn't even
a
in
thing.
the works. Yeah. So
no, that's
how
only
have you
been
enjoyed
recent.
that? Yeah.
I've loved it. It's super challenging. I don't think there's one person that comes in and you can expect what they want. Well, you can, but their workflows, it's been interesting learning other creatives' workflows and how they write music or why they write music. And it's also taught me a lot about just like patience and trusting processes. Like, I feel like one of the main reasons I haven't released anything in such a long time is that classic thing of perfectionism where it needs to be perfect to even get into the studio and get stuff done. And I'm learning more and more in this process that is not a thing.
Art is never perfection.
Art is never perfect. I think it's only art if you do it, you know? So it's been really, really eye-opening, and it's definitely helped my own relationship with my creative stuff a lot more, because it's allowed me to let go of, trying to be perfect, I think. And also, you can't run out of inspiration when you're around other creatives so much as well. It's awesome. I'm loving it. But it is challenging. It's hard. It's hard work. But I love it. I wouldn't want to do anything else, I don't think. I tried drawing for 3 weeks. I was like, maybe I'll be a tattoo artist. And I was like, I suck at this. It was not my gift.
We try and make it look easy, but...
Yeah, you guys really do.
It's one of those I always say it's a misconception of, like, you know, we're kind of born with talent.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone's born with talent. They're just born with the drive to want to do something. So, like, a lot of artists, you know, it's not like we got to our 20s like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna get really good at, fucking drawing.
Yeah.
It's more the fact that, we were like, knee-high little kiddies just drawing on everything.
Yeah.
And just because we've always been drawing because we like drawing,
yeah,
you just naturally get good at it because you've put in the time and the hours. And then, we get to our later teens or our 20s and, the world's like, oh, you have to go get a job or do something. We're like, oh, fuck.
Well, I want to draw.
Yeah, I like to draw, so I don't know, maybe with that.
Yeah.
And there's, only a number of career paths that can accommodate that. You can be a full-time artist and, be broke for the majority of your life, or, you can get into graphic design, which is what I did.
Oh, you did graphic design?
That was my start.
No way.
The whole reason why I'm in Canberra. I moved to Canberra about 12, 13 years ago for university. Studied graphic design at CIT and UC.
Yep.
Finished that all off. Was doing a bit of freelance around Canberra, plus all the art stuff like graffiti, street art, all that good stuff.
True. And then
just kind of got bored with the corporate kind of graphic design and that whole bag, and that's what led me to tattooing. And to be honest, a lot of tattooers around like kind of my age were graphic designers prior, and it was like a natural kind of progression. And a lot of tattooers you'll meet these days will have like, oh, what did you do before tattooing? And it'll be like, oh yeah, I used to be a graphic designer.
Graphic designer, yeah.
So I would say graphic designers have led to the amount of tattooers in the industry right now.
Yeah, you got to be built for that stuff. Like, it is creative, but there's also a lot of parameters that are involved in it as well. So it's not as much of an outlet, I guess, as being able to do this stuff.
Yeah, it's like if you were like, say, like a fine artist and you got to do all the stuff that you like to do all the time, you're like, oh, I'm going to be a tattooist and I'm going to do what I like to do, and the clients will come to you, versus like the graphic design mentality of like, I have a client, what would the client like? Let's service the client. Because the tattoo is not just for you, it's for the person getting it.
Yeah.
That was like the thing when we were like deciding on what are we going to do for the podcast? Like, what are we going to tattoo?
Yeah.
And it was like, you sent me like two things. It was like a cowgirl that I had done and a Cupid. And you're like, this, and like, oh, can we do like maybe like a Cupid cowboy?
Yeah.
Like, done. And then my job was like, I have to make it fit in the time frame for the podcast. So it's something that I can do in an hour.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those pieces of paper still that we could show the audience what it is? Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
going to take off my jumper too, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit thirsty?
Yeah.
Let me help you
with
the mic.
So normally when you start getting tattooed, you do warm up a little.
Yeah.
If you just place that there.
That there? Yeah, easy.
180 it.
180 it? Yeah, we can do that. It is the black and grey version. It will be in colour, but use your imagination.
When I first started getting tattoos, I was adamant that I was never going to get colour. And then...
It creeps up on you.
And then it creeps up on you.
100%.
Really fell in love with I was just getting mostly like black work stuff.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I got one traditional. I think Chingy was the one who got me into
Chingy's
it.
one?
Because
Yep.
he kind of has like a bit of a hybrid going on there. And now, exclusively, I'm like traditional all the way.
100%.
Or hybrids of traditional.
Hybrids of traditional, yeah.
No, but not neo-trad.
Yeah, there's a very fine line of like straight up neo-trad, like neo-trad. And then there's traditional, which is done with a few tricks and things which technically would make it neo-trad, but it's still just like in base traditional, like Chingy, for example. Yeah, it does like, they've got their own style. It's very recognizable, and it's what gravitates you because they do things a little bit differently.
Slightly differently,
and
yeah.
they break the rules of tradition to make it their own, and it does the trick. Anyone listening, Chingy's actually going to be in town next week.
He's great. He's awesome. Yeah, very unique style. And it keeps growing and changing as well. Like recently I went on his page and it was even more wacky and weird. Yeah, keeps evolving. There's another person in LA, their name's Theo or Tattoo Soft.
Yep.
Yeah, they just do like this really soft kind of folky trad that's just awesome. I love it.
And I love when tattoos kind of like take traditional and they put their own spin on it, where you can like look at a tattoo and like you can look at, say, you know, someone does a tattoo of, you know, something simple like an eagle or, you know, a bulldog or something, but you can tell which artist did that tattoo. So you can do the same subject matter, but because the tattooists have done it in their style, you can tell who did it like from the bat. And that's what's really cool about traditional. That it's simple and base bones at its form, but it's got room for interpretation for you to kind of put your spin on it.
And it's just timeless as well. I feel like there's a lot of styles out there and like, you know, each to their own, but there are some out there that just don't necessarily age as well, or it is just kind of a bit of a micro trend, and then it's, I don't know, it just loses its flavor a little bit over time.
And like that's the thing with like tattoos, the trends will come and go, and they always have. You know, we had like 90s, 2000s was all about, you know, getting tramp stamps and big bold tribal tats. And then nowadays it's more about the more kind of like fine line to quirky, no, I don't want to say ignorant to an extent, but like,
I know what you mean.
A little bit more
childlike almost in like the drawing style of
and like, you know, if that's what resonates with you and you dig it,
100%.
I'm all for it. But I always see, especially younger people, they'll go with the trend, but then they slowly come around to the classics. And
we always come around to the classics.
Yeah, I've tattooed a few people who started off getting some, you know, more like illustrational stuff or some more fine line stuff, and then they kind of like, after a while, they're kind of like, oh, you know what, I could go for some trad.
Yeah, because it always looks good. It always looks good.
It's a reason why it's been around for as long as it has. And I think too, because it does cater for such a wide demographic. Like, if you like nerdy shit, you can get nerdy shit in trad.
Yeah.
Do you like floral shit? You can get floral stuff in trad.
Yeah.
It caters for a very wide amount of themes.
Yeah.
So it's just the style that it's done in. But, you know, even then there's artists who have, you know, a bit more of a fine line kind of femme vibe to their trad, like Juno at Sisters.
Absolutely.
More like whimsical Euro tradie style, like even like Chingy or a few other guys I know. And then you've got like your more like classic bold trad. So yeah, there's a lot of flavors in the one scoop.
We got another good question from the chat. What's your first tattoos, both of you?
Oh yeah,
us behind the scenes don't have any, so we don't have any yet. So we'll be in the next pod. But
So that's my first tattoo, the little diamond there.
Oh, true.
Just hold it there for us. We'll get a sneaky shot.
There it is. So I actually got that tattoo here in Freestyle. So I'm just going to dip
Yeah, you're good to go.
Still need it?
Yeah,
Still need
you're
it?
good to keep going.
There we go. I actually got that tattoo here in Canberra, in Freestyle, with a friend of mine. I got the diamond because I like the saying that a friend of mine used to say, life's diamonds. Like, it's hard, but it's good, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know, I'll get a diamond, you know? And, like, back in the early 2000s.
That was hot shit.
Yeah, like the Geo style was
Yeah.
like popping off. So, you know, as a first-time tattooer, I followed the trends.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
How many tattoos do you have? Because I don't like...
I know, I look like a clean skin, don't I?
Well, as a tattoo artist, like, yeah.
So I've got it's like 18 or so, but they're mostly like, you know, on my legs, a couple on my arms, got my full back done.
Oh, sick.
Shout out to Nico Tattoo Power who did my back.
True.
Love you, bro. So that's big full Japanese.
I was just about to ask, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I do come from a bit more of a conservative background, and I do like the idea of the older mentality of getting tattoos of, like, you know, you get your back, you get your chest, you get your front done, and then, you know, you work down to your arms and the more visible stuff. And I don't think I'll be heavily, like, super heavily tattooed, like hands, face, and all that. That's just not my aesthetic.
No, yeah.
I've
always said in the cuff, like,
yeah,
you wear a suit, you don't know. Not that I'm ever, well, maybe one day I'll wear a suit, I don't know.
And I think that just comes from, like, I had a pretty, you know, conservative upbringing with my family. Not that, like, they'd be angry or disown me if I got the tattoos. I just choose not to.
Yeah.
I like the way I look. I'm chill with it. There should never be pressure to feel a certain way just because of the job or title that you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it doesn't mean I'm not getting more tattoos. Trying to get time to get my whole front finished off and done.
What's the plan for the front?
Ooh, hopefully we're going very original, very unique. Eagle on the chest, Pharaoh horses on the stomach. You know, very classics. You know,
classics because they're good.
Exactly.
If I could go back and change what I got on my body, I would do the horses on the little tummy.
Yeah, the Pharaoh horses on the stomach is a absolute banger.
Yeah, it's so good.
Anyone wanting Pharaoh's horses on their stomach or anywhere, please hit me up because I fucking love to do them.
Let's just do a blast over on my stomach. Just really thick horses, just fully blacked out horses. My first tattoo is on my back. It was a walk-in. I was with Juno actually in Melbourne ages ago. I loved it, and then someone 2 years later pointed out that it's this fat woman in the grass hugging herself, because it was meant to be like a lot of my stuff and why I got tattoos is definitely like body image, and that was just my first one. I just loved the photo. I can't remember. It was based off the style. I don't know if she still does stuff. Her name was Frances Cannon.
Frances Cannon, okay.
Yeah, years ago. She never did tattoos. She just drew like these beautiful fat women just like loving themselves. So I got one. Anyway, 2 years later, someone pointed out that she's hugging herself like this and she's only got 3 fingers and they go all the way up to her face. So she's got these crazy alien fingies. And so now I love her even more, but I never get to look at her. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so that one, today I resolved to love myself, similar to that. But huge fingers. Very similar to that.
Yeah, and that's
Which
just...
one did you say?
The one on the far right, because it was my first one. I was also very nervous to get any shading, or I was so scared. But I'll eventually get her covered up when I get a full back piece, but she'll be very easy to cover up because she's pretty sparse. But yeah, that was my first one. I can't remember where it was in Melbourne too. It was a walk-in, maybe Third Eye or something. I don't know.
That's a cool one though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah. And then we went crazy. My family really didn't like it, so I went really wild with it. I think some would say a touch too wild for a couple years, but we still love them. So, and I think it makes it easier. Like, for me, it makes it easier to remove my negative self-image if I'm looking in the mirror or anything like that. And noticing I'm body checking or negative self-talking, it's a lot easier to be like, look at this awesome tattoo on your thigh, instead of looking generically like just at your thigh and hating it. And also, you don't want to ruin all of the tattoos either. There's a lot of reasons why I got them and will still get them. They're a huge part of that mental health growth,
100%.
you know? It just made it way easier to be comfortable in my skin. So, sorry to my grandparents, but tough titties.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a client today about a similar situation where they were saying they would normally get a tattoo after like a controlling breakup where the partner was like very anti them getting tattoos. So when they finished the relationship, they would get a tattoo.
Love that.
And they were kind of like, oh, maybe it's like, I'm getting a tattoo because this person said I couldn't get a tattoo, and it's like they were trying to put like a negative connotation to the connection to the tattoo. And I'm like, no, dude, it's the fact that you were free again. And you got to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, and you chose to do this, so take it.
And you should never let anyone tell you what to do with your body.
No.
100%. It's your body, you do what the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. And if you want to get like some cool, sick little Cupid cowboys, more power to you.
Yeah, there's no hidden meaning behind the Cupid cowboy.
No, it's just fucking cool.
I just like fat little babies. Yeah. He's just so cute. Yeah, I don't think any of my tattoos except for my first one really had meaning. After that, I was just like, this one looks cool.
I feel a lot of people do, especially for your first first couple tattoos, you always want to have a little bit like, or people always try to put meaning onto their tattoos. Like, you have to have a reason to get them.
Yeah.
And some people will always continue to have meaning to their tattoos, and that's why they get tattooed. But yeah, you do find a lot of people, after a few, they go like, oh, just tattoos are cool and sick, and I just want to get some more cool looking ones. Because and then others are more about like the adornment of their bodies and how they can, like decorate or fill their bodies with a certain style of art. So
yeah, there's so many different reasons to get them. And like meanings change as well. Like,
I apologize. I'm going to sneeze.
Do it.
Or it's going to go away and just sit in my nose for like the yonkers, which it normally does.
Let's not say anything.
No, it's gone away and it will come back.
Oh, God, so anticlimactic.
There we go. Many of my clients will know that because that happens to me all the time.
You're a big sneezer?
I will occasionally always sneeze, and it'll either like come straight out in twos.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like...
It'll just go away.
It'll just sit there for a bit and then go away.
I'm an aggressive sneezer, unfortunately.
Do you have a cool sound when you sneeze, or are you just a generic?
No, it's just like super. Mum taught it to me when I was young. It was called a cough sneeze, but it's like coughing through. It's like sneezing through your mouth so you don't booger everywhere. So it's just like it's just aggressive. If you picture like how an old man sneezes.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's just how I do it. That's fun.
I think that's fun. I've definitely had some friends who had some, some guys with the very boisterous, booming sneeze. And I've had some friends with the cute, like,
I don't understand the people who sneeze and they just keep every orifice in their face closed. I don't get that.
Isn't that impossible?
Well, apparently not. Some people, like, they'll sneeze with, like, they'll absorb it through their bodies. And I don't get it. It always looks like they're about to explode. But then they're fine. Maybe.
They might be doing some internal damage. We don't know.
They might be stupid in 10 years. No. They'll never be stupid. Well, you don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
You're already up to the hat.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I've lost track of time at this point, so I don't even know how long we've been going for.
I don't think very long.
We've been going about a bit over half an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Smashing it.
And lots of people watching, so great to see. If you've
No
just
way.
tuned in, we are live from Freestyle Tattoo Studios in Canberra with Josh and Nicole. We're trying to work out if this is a first of a live multi-camera podcast while doing a tattoo, but we're calling it a first at the moment. And so if you do have questions in the chat, let us know, because love to pass them along, and you might not ever get this opportunity again, because we'll see how this goes, but maybe there'll be another one. But for now,
There better be.
Yeah.
Because I need to get my other shin done.
Yeah.
And it has to be Josh again.
I'll definitely say,
Same people.
send through some questions if they're tat related, like tat questions, personal. Hell, I'm open.
Absolutely. And if you don't have a Twitch subscription, you can send any questions in on the Instagram DMs as well. I'll keep that open, because I know you do need a subscription of Twitch to comment, but anyone can watch, so
Nice.
just let us know any way you want. But yeah, it looks awesome. Like, this is really cool to watch and see this unfold live, so yeah, looking great.
It is looking great. It's feeling good too.
Yeah, how is it feeling,
Yeah,
Nicole?
it's actually,
Not
it's
too
pretty
sore?
chill. No. It's not too sore at all.
That's what we want.
Yeah. The pain doesn't change in like the different spots very much, so I
Yeah.
think it's a lot easier to keep up with it a little bit. You know, when you get a place and every single point feels just like a new pain, and so you can't ever really adapt to it.
That's what I say is like when you get your back tattoo, because it's such a large
True.
area. Because people ask me a lot, like, oh, what is it like to get your back done? Because
Yeah.
they're like, they're interested because they want to get their backs done, but they're like, oh, it's big, is it going to hurt? I find the back is overly pretty chill, but there's the pain's different from the top to the bottom to the
Yeah.
sides, and it's hard to like really get in the pocket
Yeah.
of like getting used to the pain, so you can just kind of chill and vibe.
Yeah.
So it's about like, just figuring it out. I always say like the bottom, like near the kidneys, love handle areas, like
That would
it's
be soft. That'd be painful.
it's like brappy.
Yeah.
I want to say brappy.
True.
And then up the top near the shoulder blades is like hot and spicy.
Yeah.
Then the mid back was like, oh, it was chill. That's cool. I'm having to sleep. And then
Hell yeah.
and then you creep onto the sides and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, and it's like getting
Yeah.
jabbed. But all in all, the pain's always relative.
It is.
It doesn't like. I've never gone and got a tattoo and gone, man, the pain was so bad, I never want to get tattooed again.
That's actually very true. And I don't think many people, especially who have multiple tattoos, will do that.
Yeah.
There was definitely one tattoo I got where I took a break for a year because it shook me. But I think that's just because I wasn't ready for it.
Which one was that one?
That was this one on my side here.
Yeah, stomach will do that to you.
Yeah.
Like that area. Yeah,
It was very black, and Alexis she's fast, but she's also heavy. And it was awesome, but it was just like, I was exhausted, and it was, it was painful. So I took a break after that one. But then your body forgets about the pain, you just go get another one. It's that good.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh man, I see all this clean skin, I want to feel it.
I know, that's the hard part. The more you get, the more pockets you see that you're like, that looks ridiculous, I need to fill that up. That's how I feel about my legs right now.
And that's why they say tattoos are addicting. It's not the actual feeling of the tattoo that's addictive, it's the wanting to, fill the area with cool shit.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like putting a sticker on your computer. One's not enough.
Yeah, that's 100% what it's like.
You gotta fill that thing.
Yeah.
And Josh, I've got a question. What do you think about the trend of people? I don't know if it's really come to Australia yet, but the getting general anaesthetic to get like large
the
tattoos.
full bodies
Yeah,
done
like
in the one day.
Yeah, we call them the sleepy time tats.
Yeah.
It hasn't really hit Australia, and I think that's because of the way that our healthcare and stuff set up. But it's one of those things that the people who are getting it are like, big time celebrities. And they're like, I want to fill my body with tats now.
Yeah.
And they've got the money to do it, because I can tell you right now, the anesthetist is making way more than the tattoo artists.
Yeah. 100%.
100%. And look, I'm to the point of like, cool, you're getting all the full coverage, you're filling your body with like some cool tats. My main concerns with it is, and it's not even like, oh, you're not earning the tattoo or anything like that. It's...
But you didn't, it's like a craft.
You've denied yourself the experience of earning that tattoo, and like the main reason why I'm proud of like my back tattoo is that, I sat for like 20, 30 hours with my tattoo artist, and we vibed and we chilled and we cried, and I have this amazing piece of artwork at the end. If I just woke up with a tattoo, I don't think I'd appreciate it as much.
No, you don't. It's not an experience, it's not a journey.
Yeah.
I feel like the satisfying part about it as well is the time it takes. Like,
it's that special moment when the tattooer says, we're done.
We're done. But also like filling up slowly. Like, there are some tattoos I look at and necessarily I don't love anymore, but it puts me back to a point in my life where I did. You can like carry little bits of that with you and those different memories. I feel like if you just get it all done in once, none of them carry that sentimentality with them either.
100%.
Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily understand it, but also like, it's your body, do what you want.
Yeah, like shit. If you've got like $10,000 free dollars to not feel your tattoo and just rock it out, and by all means go for it. I think like Post Malone was one of the first to do it that caught notoriety, and I was like, oh, like Posty's like pretty fucking tattooed. Like, he's like, if he doesn't want to feel the pain anymore, I think he's earned it. That's fine. But then you've got like footballers, basketball players who are like clean skins going, oh, time to get a bodysuit.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's it's like, earn the tattoo a little bit. And I think too, it's like, I wouldn't want a tattoo in that environment of like in a hospital with like a fucking gown and...
Yeah, that would be shit house for you as well, actually.
That'd be a weird
because this is also
vibe.
your space. Like, this is your creative freedom. Doing it in there, it's also not your comfortable space. Like,
no, I'd feel weird.
Yeah,
I'd feel weird tattooing in that kind of environment. But
also you'd be so sore. I feel like if you woke up with a whole body, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, so...
Excuse my language.
So yeah, the skin is an organ, and the skin takes time to heal, and people who've like sat for like full leg sleeves and stuff like that will contest that it rocks the shit out of your body, like the recovery period. So if you're getting like a full, back and your legs and maybe your arms done all at the same time, that puts a massive amount of stress on your body. So it's not safe in that sense too.
No.
Unless, you can actually like take some time off and recover properly with IV bags and all that other stuff, which I'm sure the people who are doing it can afford. So
yeah, they're also getting a week in that treatment,
Yeah, so I think it's part of the package. But generally, like, I don't think it's a thing that is going to catch on or become mainstream, because it is unattainable by price, facility, and the tattooist, wanting to do it or be a part of the whole experience. So, let those who want to do it, but otherwise the rest of us are just going to, just keep getting cool tats and having cool conversations.
Yeah.
And what about another question we've got in on the other end of the scale is the tattoos that fade within like 6 months?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? What are those?
They don't work. So yeah, semi-permanent tattoos that are using semi-permanent inks.
What?
So the whole idea about it is like, hey, this ink will break down and disperse in your body a lot quicker, which is great in theory.
Do you still have to get the tattoo?
Yeah, you get the tattoo.
That's cool. Why would you go through this and not have it forever?
Yeah. The problem is the body doesn't do things in a clean sweep. So what actually ends up happening is you have a blotchy, busted ass looking tattoo for over 3 years. Because yeah, it might be all gone in 3 years, but it's only going to look good for that first year, and then it's going to break down, but in different areas and patches depending on how your body operates and how, you know, your body's carrying away that ink into your lymph nodes and depositing it through your body. I've never seen a semi-permanent tattoo
look good,
disappear in a nice smooth transition. It always just looks like a busted ass tattoo for a very long time and may not even fully disappear. I
don't also understand why would you do something like that if you have to get inked out and then for it to... I understand if it was like a painless process or like it was one of those...
Some people don't want to commit to forever. You know, tattoos are something that will be on your body for the rest of your life, and that commitment can, you know, scare people, and that's why I would say a lot of people don't have tattoos.
Yeah.
Is that big fear of...
Big time.
Hey, can I commit to something, a permanent thing on my body that's going to be there pretty much forever unless I decide to get laser or, you know, chop my arm off or grade it off, I don't know. So 100% the thought of like, oh, I can get a tattoo, but it'll be gone in a year or two, and then I can replace it when, you know... Ooh, got a little twitch there.
Yeah, we got a twitch there.
we got one. But yeah, so I get the appeal, but the unfortunate part is it is to an extent snake oil.
Yeah.
100%.
That's wild.
I'm yet to see an instance where it works really well.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mostly because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And like most, you know, proper tattoo studios or artists won't even bother with it.
Yeah.
I have been asked before, like, oh, do you do like the semi-permanent tattoos, like with the semi-permanent ink? And I just go, no, because I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of doing big bold tattoos that will
last forever.
Yeah, if I do my job right, they should be there until you're in the coffin.
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, tattoo aftercare is a thing I learned. As in, like, for the rest of your life, you know, you got to keep those babies moisturized. And you can't pick them. That's a big one.
Are you ready for some shading?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
But so from the client's perspective, like, how important is it for you, like, to like vibe with your tattooer and like the experience?
Super important.
Yeah.
It's a make or break, I think. I'm lucky where I haven't really had any experiences that are like super severe in terms of personalities clashing or just not getting along, but there definitely there's been one where it was tense and the personalities just didn't clash, and it totally, it doesn't let anyone relax, and it's a very vulnerable experience to go through.
100%.
And so it definitely changes how you feel about the whole tattoo in general. Not about the art, like the art's cool, but
it can like make you hate a amazing tattoo because
it can spook you a bit as well. Like you don't want to go back, or it's, I don't know, I think it's a vulnerable thing to go through. I mean, you're in pain, you're trusting this person to etch something into your body for the rest of your life.
And I think that's like tattooers have a responsibility, because we do have like almost a position of power where, like, you know, like we're somewhat in control, and, you know, some people can be a little bit overbearing with the process. So yeah, it's important to,
you guys have to find that fine balance of like control but also safety. And like, let me show you that you can trust that I'm in control.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like, you know, putting a stencil on someone and then, you know, feeling bad about wanting to move it.
Oh, I've got a few tattoos that I hate the position of, but I was young. But yeah, you don't say anything about it
because you feel like you're going to upset your tattoo
artist.
But yeah, so you can always move your stencil.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, there's some There's some bad boys on here, but that's all right. Because that's also part of the experience. Now I look at them, I'm like, oh, remember when you were so scared to hurt people's feelings?
Yeah. Just banging out there. And like, and I'm guilty of it too. Like I have days where, you know, I might be like running behind, or I'm like, it's busy, and you know, the person's like, you know, they want to keep moving and they're unsure, and I'm like, you know, I can get like frustrated because it's a busy day, but then you got to check yourself and go, hey, this is their tattoo. This is going to be on them for a hot fucking while. Let's get this done right. So,
one question I got for you is that recently you did that forehead chain.
Yeah. Shout out to Katha.
Was that like incredibly nerve-wracking for you to do, or were you kind of like comfortable, like obviously doing that, but yeah, what was that experience like?
So Katha's a really cool client. She's super down, heavily tattooed, so that does alleviate a little bit of stress when, you know, the client's super down and you're comfortable with them from the get-go. Tattooing the face is always like a bit of a like, oh shit, you know, if I fuck up, it's out there to see. As a lot of tattooers who've tattooed faces will know, it's actually not that bad to tattoo a face. It's pretty chill. From my experience anyway, I always find it's, you know, pretty easy to tattoo a face. The scary part is like, this is permanent, but when it's on the face, it's permanent.
It's a different permanent.
You can't put a sweater over that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, so it is intimidating. 100%, you know, there was like, you know, before that kind of tattoo, I will like take a little bit of time just to, you know, go vibe and get myself in a good headspace before I, you know, tackle it. But then once I'm in there and I'm tattooing, it's chill, it's cool. And yeah, having a cool client who's pretty open to stuff definitely makes it a lot easier.
It came out so sick, like
it did. Yeah, I was super stoked. I was pretty stoked. But
that's one you kind of do the stencil a few times, get the line up, like the placement
perfect,
right. Yeah.
Luckily with
the symmetry and
there's no you have to save the stencils on Wonk, right?
I'm trying to remember. I think that stencil was a first go. Like we nailed it on the first one. I checked it, I made sure, and I was like double checked with her, and I got someone else to come and have a look too. But no, we got that one first go.
Hell yeah!
I think one of the most satisfying things as a tattoo artist, and most others will probably agree, if you have like a hard stencil area, like for the back or, you know, the face or somewhere that's a little bit tricky, and it's a pain to re-stencil, and you get it in the first go. It's
a good day.
It's a nice feeling.
You've done a few big back pieces. Do you is that something that...
Love doing backs.
Yeah, like big format stuff.
Big backs are cool because you get to really play with the design. Yeah. They're very personal to the person who gets them. Yeah. Because, you know, it's probably the biggest canvas you have on your body. Like complete canvas. Especially with traditional, it's like it's saved for the big motif. It's the big show piece.
It is.
So I love doing big backs. I want to do more. I don't think I'll ever get sick of like having a few back projects. I've got a few at the moment. So we just finished Connor's back at the Sydney Tattoo Convention. Yeah. Shout out Connor, you're the OG.
It looked sick. That was the finished back piece,
right? The big honey.
Yeah.
So loved doing every second of that tattoo and finishing it there. And then like we started a back that week as well. For those who saw it, it's probably like not too far down the feed. We're doing a Irizumi Japanese style inspired Legend of Zelda back piece.
Yeah, I did see that actually. You've done the outline of it. Yeah, it looked so sick. Yeah, it looked so sick.
And then I think I've got another back on the run with Georgia. We're doing just a classic lady face with a like trad dragon and some peonies, like real classic,
very classic.
Real nice. So I'm really excited to keep working on that one. But yeah, I'm always happy if I've got a few kind of backs or bigger projects on the go. Because yeah, when you finish them, the payoff is it's always worth it.
Yeah.
It's always fun. You said you got something on your back as well. You got a.
Oh, I got a tiny lady.
Oh,
But
okay. So you're not on anything else.
no, I'm saving for the big motif.
Nice. Ferris horses.
Yeah. Yeah, front and back.
Yeah.
I know I want to have something to do traditional but more fantasy related.
100%.
Or I want to go super classic, like lady riding the dragon, like slitting the dragon's throat, like you know. There was that sounds graphic, but it's beautiful. There was like this piece. I don't know. I saw it in like every tattoo shop. I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that is supposed to be on a back, and I'm sure it is on many backs. But I was like, I love that so much. But something to do, or a witch, big old tratty witch, you know, but not super whimsical and not super gory. Just like as gory as that, you know, cute, a character.
Yeah.
Riding a dragon maybe, or a wyvern, who knows?
Something, you know, like fantasy based.
Yeah.
Something cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Something a bit nerdy but traditional.
We dig that.
Yeah.
For the back piece, we can do the pod where the camera is looking up through the hole of the table.
Yeah.
Very flattering angle, I'm sure.
I'm digging that. Woo! How would you describe the pain difference between lining and shading? Because I get that question asked a lot.
Yeah, I prefer shading.
Mm-hmm.
Lining is just, there's something more concentrated about the pain.
More accurate, more
accurate, more acute shading. And I think, I don't know, unless the line work is taking like 4 hours and then you get into shading and you start from the bottom again, it's pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
But for something like this, shading is just, yeah, it's not as acute. It's more just less acute, more irritating. I don't know.
I say shading is kind of like some cute little kittens having a scratch at your skin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's cute, so I'm going to let it happen, but it's kind of annoying and uncomfortable at the same time.
Yeah, it's more uncomfortable than just like painful. And I could tell the skin was already getting a bit sensitive too with the couple of jerks that I've had, the little twitchies.
And you should never apologise if you get like uncontrollable muscle spasms. You know, it
Oh,
happens.
yeah.
You can't control it.
No, you can't.
I just got to have my
You just gotta be ready for it.
got to be ready for it.
I'm waiting for the day I twitch and then they're like, oh no.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh fuck.
No, it's a weird like almost like a spidey sense a little bit. Like I can kind of tell before you
Yeah,
twitch that
really.
you're gonna twitch, and I kind of just be like, what?
You can feel it.
It's a weird. It's like a spidey sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get there it is. So I was looking for a part that I was going to tattoo, and I was like, where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, cool, sweet. Just following the guide, making sure I'm colouring inside the lines.
And Nicole, I wanted to ask about another little tattoo story where you were in the studio with YG recently.
Oh yeah.
And he got tattooed.
Yeah.
What was the story there? What happened that session?
He was down for R&B Fest, I think it was. And this was when Kojo was still at the Mitchell studio. And YG wanted to spend the time not doing the festival at a studio, finishing his album that he just came out with. And he did it, I guess, classic, like East Coast style. I don't know if it's classic, but yeah, he flew this tattoo artist in from Melbourne. I can't remember his name. And yeah, this guy rocked up with his little bed and
Let it rock.
and let it rock. I mean, he's pretty covered. He was getting, I think, a woman's name, Destiny, on his somewhere here. He was running out of space, but yeah, pretty much, yeah, this was it. This was the night. So he would pretty much, we got a beat going, and he was just writing while he was there, and then he'd get this tattoo, and then he'd go do a take, and it's about 1 or 2 in the morning at this point that he's getting this done. It was a super wild experience because the energy was, I've never been around that kind of energy before. It was crazy. He's had his entourage there. He hired some girls to come. Like, it was just like a classic, what I feel like they're doing in the East Coast, or what the rappers, I don't know. It felt like a movie. I felt like I was in a movie.
And what was your role that night? Were you producing stuff?
No.
Yeah.
So this was like, I think my 3rd week in, after asking Kojo if I could stick around and like start doing stuff, and then he came. So I was literally just there. I think I changed like a couple knobs on a compressor maybe when Kojo asked me to, and that is it. Otherwise I was just in the corner trying not to be too white, you know? Trying to like just play it really cool with the bros, which I did not do. He came in for a handshake at the start for one of like just a classic bro one that I'm not very good at. I've been practicing since, and I just grabbed his fist. I didn't know what to do. I panicked.
You asserted dominance.
I asserted dominance,
You
yeah.
asserted dominance with that fist grab.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah, he didn't think that was weird at all. I didn't throw off his energy. But yeah, it was wild. The guy, I wish I remembered his name, the tattoo artist. He does fine line, but like kawaii girls almost. Ooh. Like these sexy pinup, yeah, kind of like really sick stuff.
I think this was who was tagged.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sick, yeah.
Yeah, so he did like, yeah, this detailed stuff. Maybe he didn't do, oh yeah, there's those ladies, like, oh, he's gotten crazy good.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Like, and he was super lovely as well. Like, oh, that freaking, look at that tiger on that chest. That's sick.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he does like dot shading as well. I think he's pretty versatile. But yeah, he was so nice. He was definitely, I think, the most approachable one out of all of them. But he was also Australian and was also in a situation of like, what the hell is going on? Why are we here? Yeah, that was a wild. I also try and bring up that experience in every conversation, you know, just to also assert dominance.
It's an epic one.
Oh, do you know YG? Because I do.
I'd be saying like I produced a YG song. Like,
yeah.
You know, turning a few knobs.
Yeah, I turned a few knobs on his songs. I turned a couple of his knobs. No, sorry, that's just disgusting. That's awful.
And the song came. The
song
was
came out. Yeah, it was used.
Out.
It sounds. Yeah, he used it. The lyrics. Yeah, it was just a wild couple of days. Crazy. I wouldn't do that for anyone else. I would never stay in the studio till 2 a.m. for anyone else but YG or any of the other East Coast rappers, if they asked me.
It's a long night.
It was a super long night. But that's just, I think, how they do it. Yeah.
That's a young man's game. I can't stay.
But they're
up
old.
after 12. Oh, really?
I feel like YG's old as heck. What is he doing? He was popping off in the 90s? Well, not old as heck.
Let's have a Google.
Let's have a Google.
Got that endurance.
Yeah, they're just on a different freaking wavelength over there.
34.
Oh, he's 34.
34.
Oh, damn, he's actually not that old. Sorry, YG. If you're watching this, which you probably definitely are, because we've definitely stayed in touch.
He'll be our next guest, actually.
Yeah. He can tell you all about skeeting in dem noses. That was one of his lines. Skeeted in her nose.
What?
Yeah.
What's the song?
Elaborate.
It's called Put It in My Hands. I don't know, or Them Hams.
Put It in My Hands with Larry.
Yeah, Larry. Woke up the next morning like, no, like, I've never felt so privileged to be disrespected as a woman in that studio than I was that night listening to that song. Yeah. This is throwing me back, but I'm getting tattooed this time.
Keep it alive, type nigga. I'm just a real bad nigga. Fresh white tee, teeth on gold. Bouncing out a coupe with a pat of the bell on.
So he already had that verse. So he came in to record the second verse and the chorus, I think.
Hopefully YG doesn't claim us and the stream, but
Well, he didn't claim us in the credits, so we're allowed to do this once, right?
oh yeah, oh he didn't give you a
No, that's fine,
producer
no.
credit.
No. Well, he didn't give Kojo one. I was not a producer there.
Just put it in my hand.
I'm a street nigga turned artist. Bitch, don't get me started.
Just put it in my hand.
Hit of the
I'm in a
summer.
whole nother mode.
Every spider, neck full of gold.
Me all different hoes. This dig known, baby. Y'all up on the
Globe.
globe. I'm Hollywood, cause I'm
Fucking on the actress.
From the hood,
So I fuck on the mattress. He did it so many times.
You know it's
Yeah,
still.
good girl, have bad bitch. Chains
On
on
me.
this shit glitter.
Bitch, you can see the dick print through the dinner.
40 on my hip, I'm a Bartown nigga. Stash in the coupe, police
That's
know I
awesome.
hit 'em. Talk to Roy about the double R rolls. 400 niggas be
Yeah, this
fucking y'all
part.
hoes. Shoot up the club,
Should've skeeted in the nose. Woke up the next morning like, no.
Just put it in my hand.
Who did this to you? What does that even mean? What do you mean he skated in a nose?
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
Provocative. It's provocative, yeah.
That's awesome.
It was. It is. I haven't listened to the rest of the album. I'm sure it's really good.
But a little Canberra connection there for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, he's coming back to perform this year, I think. He loved it so much. Yeah, he's performing at like Fiction or something. He's doing like
Oh really?
he's doing his he's like having a stop off here.
What, he loved Canberra specifically?
I have no idea why he's coming back, but he is. Maybe to pay homage, to put it in my hands. Put what in your hands though? I don't know. What's this song about?
We'll say Canberra does get slept on. You know,
We do get slept on.
we're fun. We can party. We can have good
Gently.
times.
After 6 p.m. and before 10. Gently. No, I love it here. Moving back made me love it here. It made me appreciate what is here, you know? I feel like you gotta leave sometimes to be like, oh, that place is actually banging.
I think a lot of people do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a country guy at heart. I'm originally from Bathurst, so for me, Canberra's just, you know, Bathurst with more perks. But, you know, the fact that like living here is pretty chill, pretty easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not too bad.
It's not.
Um,
If you want big city living, well, yeah, it's probably not great. But I don't want that. I actually want little farm living. I want a hobby farm. 1 cow, 1 dog,
maybe a couple goats.
2 goats.
Yeah, you don't want to mow the lawn. Goats are good for that.
Oh, true. I don't want to mow the lawn. But what about the cow? Cow's going to do that.
Yeah.
Just going to have to get a bigger lawn for the cow and the 2 goats. Maybe a couple ducks. I've always wanted ducks. They seem really loyal.
Ducks are a fun little one to have. Also fun to tattoo too. Love fucking tattooing ducks. Any animals, really. There we go. We are almost up to colour.
No freaking way. I don't need to pee anymore, by the way, guys.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's receded.
It has receded.
To give the viewers a little bit of context, they're doing a little bit of behind the scenes camera work right now, fixing some stuff.
We're still on air.
Perfect. Easy done. So, what was the main reason why you haven't been tattooed in so long?
Well, to be honest, I moved back. So last time I got tattooed was in Adelaide when I was working at that studio, and then I moved back here, and I haven't really had a contracted job or full-time job that allowed me to save up the money for it.
100%, yeah.
Save up the money in a way that it was a priority. I was just been casually working, and now that I'm freelancing, I really want to, but it just falls to the bottom of priority when it comes to just life stuff.
I think a lot of other
Yeah.
people are in that boat as well.
Yeah.
Shit's expensive.
Shit's expensive now.
Living's expensive.
Yeah.
And one of the first things to go are, luxuries. And,
Yeah.
let's be honest, tats tats are a luxury
They
item.
are a luxury item, yeah. And I definitely like felt that. It's hard to just fork out 600, or like you can start saving up and then something happens and you have to pay for that first, or yeah, it just and then I don't know, also time just like gets away from you. You're like, oh, you know, I'll get there next year, and then a year passes, you're like, holy shit. Like I think when I was talking about it before we got asked to do this, I was like, it's been the longest ever that I've had a break from tattooing. Just purely because, yeah, money, but also time
and money.
Time just like got away from me. Yeah.
100%. And like, and I think that's why like smaller tattoos are like more in fashion now, because, you know, they are a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, people don't have the money to go like, oh, you know, I'm going to get my back piece this year, because you don't have a spare couple $1,000
that's
to
what I've
spend
been
on
saying
tattoos.
the past 2 years. I'm like, oh, my back piece next year. My back piece next year. Oh, next year.
Because it like, especially like backs or those bigger tattoos, it's a commitment too, because you know,
yeah. Time.
you don't want to just like do one session and then ghost for a year or two and then
No.
come back and your ass is gone or moved away or maybe stopped tattooing, and now you're kind of left with a half done back. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like those bigger tattoos are like a commitment, and like not everyone's got like the cash to splash on elaborate works.
How many sessions did your back piece take?
Mine, I lost track because they weren't like straight full days. We did like a couple full days, a couple like 2-hour sessions, a couple 3-hour sessions, kind of when we had time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we were both kind of working. So it was be like, oh, dude, do you have like a free Monday? Oh, I've got this Monday. I'm like, cool, I'll come in and put some time in. Then I took like a little break over summer because I didn't want to get tattooed
And then
during Canberra heats.
Yeah.
Because it's gross.
Yeah, it is.
And then resumed back in winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably say like hour-wise, we probably hit like around the I want to say like 30 mark.
Yeah.
Give or take.
That's a small open world game. That's huge. That's a lot of time.
To be fair, I put more time into like Baldur's Gate and some
I was about to,
RPGs.
that's why I said small open world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put way more into Baldur's Gate, but that's different because you're just sitting at the computer.
Yeah, I don't have a big, you know, needle in my back.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so glad you played Baldur's Gate. That's awesome.
Have to. D&D nerd, so
Yeah.
got to get into it.
You got to get into it.
Yeah, I love how like nerd properties, like, because nerds and geeks, we love shit so much, we're willing to get it tattooed onto our bodies.
Yeah.
They make for the best clients because, you know, they're passionate about what they're getting tattooed. They're pretty open to ideas and how you want to do it. And then you can also like geek out and nerd out about like what we're doing. So it's really cool to tattoo, people who like are passionate about the stuff that they're getting tattooed.
Yeah.
And then
What's one of the best like geek out tattoos that you've done? Obviously not the best because that's too hard, but like, what was one of your favorite ones that you've done? Minus the back tattoo.
Yeah, because that's probably going to win when it's done. I don't really play favorites. By the way, we're about to start color.
Cool.
You ready?
Yeah.
Nice. So I've got a few. I'm trying to think now. So I just recently did 2 ones. I did Heroine and the Witch King, Lord of the Rings kind of scene. That one was fun because like I pulled from a lot of like 80s dark fantasy artists. And that was really fun. And then I also did like the week later. It was if you're like old school D&D nerd, like we're talking like 80s.
Yeah.
Death Dealer and War Duke.
Yeah.
We did them battling in like full color, like
sick.
dark fantasy style.
Yeah.
They were kind of cool because they were larger, but then like I love doing little ones. Like I've got my little like nerd flashy. It's like you know, a little Spider-Man or like a little like anime character like Monkey D. Luffy, like small little like trad bangers, but like with a little bit of a nerd twist. They're just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably say the bigger ones just because they're the most recent, and I have a lot of fun doing them.
Yeah.
But pretty much even stuff that I'm not into, or haven't heard about before, because I always like to like figure out what I'm tattooing. So if you know, I've got a client, Leanne, who loves like really like B grade horror, and she go like
oh, true.
what is it? It's fucking like Space Clowns. Oh, I forget the name of the movie, but it's like this crazy ass like B grade horror movie of like these killer clowns from outer space. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like they put people in these like cotton candy fucking cocoons and drink them out with like a crazy straw, and she wanted that.
That's
and it's such a wild
idea.
Such a wild tattoo. And I was like, oh, I got to figure out what this thing is. So, you know, I got to watch a little bit of it, and I'm like, so when like clients or like people hit me up for like weird shit from like other things, and I'm like, oh, cool, I haven't heard about this, so I better have a look. You know, it introduces me to like new, cool, fun things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're not just going to stumble upon
awesome.
that movie.
No.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's got a bit of a cult following. But yeah, those kind of things, especially horror. I'm not a big horror person. But yes, some of that old school like 80s B grade stuff is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
And a couple
any horror film from the 80s is pretty fucking funny. Except for the actually scary ones.
Yeah,
the psychological torment.
Yeah, I don't do horror. I'm a big wuss when it comes to horror movies.
No way.
I don't know why. I prefer comedies, dramas, all that stuff. Like horror movies, I don't know. I just feel I get scared. Especially when it was back when like the real gory like torture porn stuff was coming out, like Saw, Hostel, all that stuff. So I watched that a lot when when you were younger and you go to mates' places and hangouts, and they're like, oh, we're gonna put on a scary movie.
Yep.
And then you gotta watch like Hostel and stuff like that.
That's a terrible choice.
It's fucking bad.
That's not a great friend hangover watch.
Yeah, but like horror movies, because you're there with friends and girlfriends and stuff. So it's
we did that.
You gotta put on a horror movie. It's like
how else are we supposed to naturally hold hands if there's not a reason to hold hands?
Yeah. But like the ones that I did enjoy watching were like the old weird classics, like the fucking Rob Zombie ones. I enjoyed those, but I think because they had that kind of cult classic kind of appeal to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, love.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
The cool wipe. Some people hate it, some people love it.
I freaking love it.
The cold wipe is definitely helps when the tat's getting a little bit hot and spicy.
Yeah.
All right. What are some what are some questions that you've always wanted to ask a tattooer? Some nitty gritty stuff.
Nitty gritty stuff.
I know stuff that you've always wondered about. Let's get weird. Chat, let's get weird.
I mean, this isn't nitty gritty at all, but if you could take off your skin and start again with your tattoos, would you? And what would you get instead?
Easy, I would, and I would go full Japanese bodysuit.
Yes!
Yeah, travel to Japan, get one of the horries to do it.
Yep.
Full Japanese body sleeve. From the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy.
I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's no one has the foresight to really go oh yeah, I'm going to get a full Japanese bodysuit. No one's got that foresight.
No.
Because, when you're young, you don't
think about that.
You're not thinking about that.
That's not like a gateway at all into tattoos.
No.
Unless you're I don't know, some people it is, but...
But I think nothing looks cooler than, someone who doesn't look like, you know, they're wearing like a suit or like a something covered, and then they take their shirt off and they've got a full suit. Nothing's harder than that.
Nothing is harder.
Nothing's harder than that. That's some Yakuza stuff. It just looks fucking cool.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, so I'd definitely go that. That's my answer.
Yeah.
What about, well, we just answered. You would get full body, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
If
I knew back then, yeah, hindsight. Like, I still love all my tattoos, but I mean, yeah.
We're saying hypotheticals here. Like, obviously, I'm not going to fillet myself and grow back my skin and get tattooed again.
Yeah.
The logistics of that are terrifying. But, you know, if it was like a, you know, genie kind of snap wish thing, then yeah, 100%. We would definitely do that.
Josh, tell us a bit about what it was like making that full body suit for the Made to Suit series. And,
that was sick.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So I'd seen it the previous 2 years. Like, it came up on my feed and a few friends had done it. And I was like, man, that's so cool. I wish I could do something that large scale, but it's so intimidating and scary. And then I think it was this year I saw that they were still looking for a few more people to kind of fill it out. You know, they wanted a few more people to join up. And I was like, fuck it, why not? The worst case worst is, you know, I fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, I applied to get it. Benji Tobin, who normally comes to Canberra, he normally gets at Outcast and does some cool tattoos. So him and Dan run and organise it. They're both based in Brisbane, Gold Coast. They put on the show. So yeah, hit them up, got my canvas, and then had to figure out what the fuck am I going to paint.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of at this point in my career where I do want to do like a little bit more Japanese stuff. Painting, tattooing, it interests me a lot. So I was like, well, I want to, you know, paint a little bit more Japanese. Now's the time to do it. But there's also going to be a lot of like pretty established like Japanese artists doing this, and I don't want to put my Japanese like with their Japanese because I'll look dumb.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll do something a little bit quirky. So I did what I normally do, and I make things nerdy.
Yeah.
He-Man's got a bit of a soft spot. It's one of the, you know, the first things I can remember watching as a kid. I had like the Castle Grayskull battle set, like all the figures and stuff. So it's always going to have a special place in my heart. If you've ever been in my my studio room, you'll see a lot of He-Man stuff hanging around.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's combine the two loves and let's do an Irizumi style Masters of the Universe piece. Pair that with not a lot of spare time, a ever encroaching deadline, and the pressures of wanting to produce something that was of a high standard. Oh no! Oh no, okay, back. It's good. Birthed this.
It's fucking sick. It is huge.
It is life size. Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah, there you go. You can see that. It's about, it's probably bigger than me. I'm not a big dude. But yeah, probably like 30 to 40 hours. I lost track. But like so many of those pieces were so fucking cool, and they did you know, a bunch of the guys from Queensland and then a bunch of guys from Sydney. We had 2 shows. They got presented at the Sydney Tattoo Convention as well. And it was just so fucking cool to be a part of. And like so many of my friends did it as well. So it was good to, you know, catch up and hang out with them and see their work. And I would definitely do it again if they'll let me. But yeah, I would definitely do it again. I don't know if I do something nerdy. I might go and do something a little bit more trad related. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that point, I will say if you're ever scared about tackling a massive art project like that and you're scared that, you know, it's not going to be good enough or you're going to be fail, fuck that, do it.
Yeah. Because
it's always going to be worth it, because worst comes worst at the end is you put the effort in, you did something really cool, it's always going to be worth it. So
no one else can interpret it the way you interpret it, so do it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
If not just for the learning
Yeah,
experience.
100%.
Yeah, figuring out how to paint a piece of paper that big was a learning experience.
How did you do it?
Good question. So I didn't really
You
have
blacked out. You don't remember.
I didn't have a big enough table at home.
Yeah.
So the first step was to go to Bunnings, get some 2x4, and make a big block that I could put it on.
Yeah.
Because it was 300 GSM Arches paper. Anyone who's worked with watercolor or inks and watercolor paper knows you gotta stretch the canvas. So you gotta stretch your paper.
Wow.
So you wet the paper. So I had to do that on the thing. There was a video. I think it was a story though, so you might not be able to find it up there. But yeah, I had to stretch the paper and then lay it down on a smaller coffee table and then kind of like hunch over late nights, kind of just tackling one section at a time.
That is actually intimidating, because that's like, it's so huge and, oh wow. Like, where do you even begin? And then like you are drawing and then painting directly on it. Like obviously you had the SketchUps or whatever, but still, like that's a big piece of paper to accidentally like.
Oh yeah, you don't want to fuck it up.
You don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah, I think that was my biggest concern, and that's why if you watch the videos, a lot of it's like taped around.
Yeah.
Was my biggest concern was like I'll go to paint something, but as I transfer my brush, ink drops, the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of it was taped around like that to avoid those dumb little mistakes that happen when you've been painting for 5 hours and haven't eaten or had something to drink yet, so you're a little bit delirious and. You're not paying attention. Art.
It's so easy to just not take care of yourself when you're doing it. You come out of like a spell 18 hours later, you're like, wow.
It's
pass out.
We normally get it when we tattoo. It's why if you ever like go up with your tattooist at the end of the day to check out, they can't do simple maths.
Yeah.
We're incapable of doing simple tasks after tattooing. We get the tat brain.
Tat brain.
And that applies to clients as well. After you've been getting tattooed for hours on end.
Oh yeah. Well, your body's in shock. Like your adrenaline, like you're out of adrenaline actually at that point. You're just exhausted.
Yeah, your body just wants to have something to eat and go sleepies.
Yeah.
Have a little sleep, have a little eat. Nice. We are coming together, dude.
Hell yeah.
How are we feeling? How's the pain register?
Oh, she's spicy now.
She's getting spicy?
Yeah. she getting sensitive. But she's fine.
Nice.
She's worth it. He's worth it. You know what? They can be whatever they want.
That's it. 100%. You. Any more questions? Hit me with some stuff.
Yeah, if you are watching still, we're still live. We're still live from Freestyle Tattoo here.
Ooh,
thank you
jerkies.
very much for
that was a big one, dude.
Joining us live for this world first. Fuck it, we're calling it world first.
Prove us wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong. Send any links if you can find a live multicam tattoo podcast like this. But any questions in the chat, send them over. We've still got a bit more time, it seems. How far off are we, Josh?
Give us like 15.
15 minutes. 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, give us 15, 20. All right.
Just got to get the booties and the hearts done. I actually don't know. That came out of my ass. I don't know what I'm talking
hearts,
about.
a little bit of yellow and a little bit of blue. Yeah, but we're getting there.
You'll be my first blue. I don't have blue on my body.
Really?
I've only got green, like the classic green.
Classic traddy red.
Just
traddy
the
green.
classic traddy colours. No, it's chill.
Pack in the solid areas, gets a little bit spicy at the end.
This is the part you don't often get to see on the Instagram reel.
Yeah, it's all glitz and glamours on the Instagrams.
You should see the sweat patches on my t-shirt right now. I'm actually not going to show you because it's disgusting.
That's actually a good little segue. Yeah, the Instagrams is a good one. the way we kind of have to sell kind of tattoos on
Oh
Instagram
yeah, that's your
nowadays,
whole.
and
That's like your portfolio, pretty much.
yeah, it just happened. Just everyone in tattooing went, oh, Instagram's going to be our main platform of how we advertise and show ourselves, and it happened, and now we have to live with the consequences.
Yeah, well, that's where I find all the people that I like is through Instagram. I don't know where I'd be able to find it anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook kind of like died out and wasn't responsive, and
Yeah.
I think Instagram started being the main thing when I first started tattooing. So it was like the standard. It's like, yeah, get yourself an Instagram profile. And back in those days, it was easy. You'd post a photo and you'd get likes.
Yeah.
So it was pretty chill. And like as most, content creators or businesses will, understand, is like you got to do the dance. You got to.
Yeah, you do.
You got to play the game for the algorithm and to get your likes and to get people to notice you, which can be a little bit disheartening, especially for those who just they got into this to make tattoos. And
Yeah.
but now it is a part of tattooing as anything else, and we've kind of had to learn to adapt to be creators, social media content creators, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, and it's hard for some people.
Yeah.
I had to kind of learn out of necessity. Luckily, with the graphic design background, it's made it a little bit easier.
True.
With that stuff, but
In what ways? Just like marketing yourself?
yeah, marketing, branding, all that kind of stuff. I think kind of getting on the ground level of Instagram helped with the adaptation of reels and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Picking up trends and how to do them. Did a little bit of film and stuff at school, so pulled upon that. Obviously, I'm not making some of the crazy content that some others do, but I try to be as honest as possible and not come off too kitschy or what's the word I'm looking for? Not fake, but yeah, I'm trying to sell a self of me that's like a little bit
Genuine, authentic, not over the top, and
yeah. Like I'm not the funny, goofy guy, like the class clown, the larrikin, so I can't, play upon, being that kind of person. So yeah, I just try and just do what makes me feel comfortable with my reels, and I don't try and do stuff that makes me feel cringe.
they take a lot of work and time as well. I think I made one, and that's it. I posted, I was like, that took so long.
It's definitely a bit of a setup, and like there's sometimes where I'm like, oh man, I should have made a reel out of that tattoo, but sometimes I'm just not thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, you want to get like your shots for the tattoo, you want the stencil reveal, and then you want the tat and the line pull, and you put it all together, and then you've got a reel that someone watches 10 seconds of and goes, and just swipes up.
Yeah. 100%.
So now we've got the super short form content where it's like the looping 1 second reels.
Yeah.
And I refuse to be a part of that.
I didn't know they were a thing either.
Really? You don't get bombarded in your feed?
No. I don't get the 1 second reels.
Damn, man, I get slammed by them.
But I also, on my feed is mainly just like vegan cooking recipes, I think, even though I'm not vegan anymore. It's just all people crocheting.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 3 Instagram accounts specifically for this purpose, so my feeds don't get biffed up.
Nice.
But I've got one that is purely for tattoos. But I haven't seen the 1 second ones, no.
There you go. They're not just tattooing ones. They're like just in general, like the algorithms. Like,
True.
we like these. You should do these. These are what's getting pushed right now. This is what's hot. And like you can do a tattooing. It would be very simple. Just the tattoo, just ding, ding.
So it's like
ding.
a boomerang, but
pretty much
reels.
Because it's just like you're just getting the rewatches and the activity from it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, no, I try to keep my content like in the 30-second range. I think 30-second range is enough to show the experience of the tattoo, like from start to finish. Like, here's my client, we're setting up, I've done the tattoo, here's the tattoo. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. It's already too much for me.
Yeah, no,
It's just so much to think about. an unnecessary amount to think about.
Yeah.
Can't we just post? Can't it just go back to the way it was, where we just post and it's awesome, and then?
If only. Most tattooers would love that, to be perfectly honest. If we could just post and get our 100 plus likes for a tattoo and be on our day.
Yeah.
But that's everything. When I was a kid, the internet was just becoming a thing. You had dial-up, and YouTube wasn't a thing until I was like in high school, and then boom, we've got Facebook, MySpace, and it's one of those things. It's always going to be consistently changing, and I think it's the same for any business, creative field, whatever. You have to
adapt.
You got to adapt. You got to stay relevant. You got to play the game. If you can get away with not playing the game and keep doing what you do, then you've cracked the code.
Yeah.
More power to you. I wish I could be you. But it's also fun from doing all the content stuff. More people have gotten to know who I am, requested to get tattoos from me. Even other tattooers like going, "Hey man, I love your content. Like, you do a good job. Lovely to meet you." Like at the conventions, and that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Finding out about other tattooers from that. So, take the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
Yeah.
How do you find it in the?
Speaking of the good and the bad, we got a question. What, Josh, do you find the hardest part about the job, and maybe the most disliked part as well?
That is the good question. So definitely with tattooing, it's not a standard 9 to 5 job where you clock in, punch out. We don't have vacation days, we don't have sick days. It's one of those situations where I might have a full day booked. I'm ready to tattoo. My client decides, I don't want to rock up today.
Yeah.
And they cancel on me. I just don't get paid.
Yeah.
That's just it. And that's, that's just the reality of the job. But especially what we've been experiencing lately with, people not being able to pay for pay to get tattoos. And finding out oh, hey, I got to pay rent this week. I got to pay for groceries. I got a vet bill.
Yeah.
Cancellations happen more and more often, and it's no one's fault. It's just life; it gets in the way. But it does mean life gets a little bit harder, on occasion.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the 70s, 80s when it was all, wads of cash and cocaine.
True.
Tattooing is it's
the whole culture around paying for it's changed as well. It isn't just cash jobs, and it's different. I forgot about the wads of cash and the cocaine.
Yeah, people want to use afterpay. People want to use afterpay. People want
is that a thing?
For some studios, yeah. Some people and a lot of people will just use afterpay on their Apple Pay. They've got it set up on Apple Pay and they'll just use it. That's a whole separate thing with the people not understanding debt, but for a later day. But yeah, the hardest parts of the job is the uncertainty, the fact that we can have an extended quiet season. You're not tattooing as much. You're taking a lot of your work home. Some of us, everyone's different. Everyone's got different work schedules. I tattoo normally 4 to 5 days a week. I draw at home on my day, on my nights off. If I want a vacation, I just don't get paid, so I have to save for it. Or the one of the benefits of tattooing is traveling and doing guest spots. If you've got mates around Australia, you can go to their studio. You can tattoo in a different location. But that brings other challenges can you get clients there, all that other stuff. But tattooing is a wonderfully hard and exciting and rewarding career if you can get into it. It's not for everyone. It's not easy, but it's one of those kind of jobs that you get what you put into it, and you get that in return. If you put a lot into tattooing and your career, you can get a lot out of it. So the main thing is, to answer the question, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
The hardest part about tattooing is it is a lot of hard work.
You can only rely on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't push the paperwork off to
Yeah.
your co-workers. It's all on you.
Yeah.
You got to do a good tattoo. You got to look after your clients. You got to manage your emails. You got to manage your social media accounts. You got to make sure
Yeah.
that you got money in the bank. You got to make sure you're responsible for yourself.
Yeah, it's your own business.
And that's a lot of jobs too.
Yeah,
But,
100%.
I think a lot of people kind of think, oh,
Artsy fartsy.
tattooing's easy. You get paid fat stacks of cash and get to do cool tats all day. But
Nope.
reality is a little bit harder than you expect.
Yeah.
Not to discourage anyone from getting into tattooing, of course. It is a rewarding job if you can do it, but 100% not for everyone.
Yeah.
Get that footage. Doing it for the grams. And 100% that, it goes back to, doing music as well.
Oh,
and
it's exactly the
recording.
same thing, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure, I remember when I was a young kid, oh, God, I wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah. Oh, they all do. They all want to be rappers.
And as a person with absolutely no musical talent, it's fucking hard. I try to do music. I can't do it. I'm just not
Oh,
musically
it is
talented.
hard. It is hard. Listening to it a lot is hard too. It's hard. You know what? Working in the studio has made me appreciate that rapping is hard, because not everyone can do it.
No.
It is an art form.
Do you ever have when you're producing that you're like, this sucks?
Yeah.
And then what do you do?
You just gotta, I guess same with tattooing as well. They could come and they think it's a sick idea, but you don't like it, kind of doesn't matter. If they love it, then that's all that matters. I'm sure there's people out there who listen to my stuff and they're like, this is garbage, but I love it, But there are definitely some that I'm listening to and I'm like, I don't know who would enjoy this, but you love it, so go for it. But I'm suffering. Today is hard. Today's hard.
I do. One thing I like about music, now, is that there is a musical genre, a single person out there who's doing the weirdest, most niche fucking thing out there, but there's so many little mini genres and niches of music
100%.
now. You can find
Anything.
I always keep discovering new music that I might not have been into.
Yeah.
I've gone from being, back when I was a teen, I was the classic, rap, new metal, fucking rock kid.
Yeah.
Moving to more nuanced, classical, classic 80s rocks to back to glam rock. Now I've
You look like a rock guy, just so you know.
it's a good base.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will know my playlist when they come to listen. It's a collective. But a lot of blues and roots and country now, and now I'm getting back into not back into, but getting into a little bit of drum and bass.
Oh yeah, I can have a little bit of
is
D&B sometimes.
Yeah, it's tickling my fancy right now. So yeah, it's always nice that we live in a time where music is so accessible, and obviously
it's so accessible to listen to and to also do. And I'll never understand this idea of there's too many fish in the pond. The more people in it, the better. It pushes a genre to go somewhere completely different, because you do have to try and figure out what you want, and then a band could start because they've listened to this tiny niche little genre, so they start their own little I don't think there's such thing as there's too many artists here, or there's too many people doing pop. Get more people doing it, because that's when it starts to get weird and you start creating different things. And same with artists and tattooists. I don't know, the more people doing it, you can never have too many people doing it, because we all do things so differently.
I'll definitely say that subject on tattooing is will divide the lines. A lot of people in the tattoo industry are very much we're full, no more please, it's oversaturated. But in that same kind of sense, touching on what you were saying, let's go back to like 90s, 2000s. You know, your genres of like tattooing were, you know, tribal, Japanese, traditional, and a few like other little ones. But now, since more people have been joining tattooing and really twisting up the genres, we have so many different categories. Like anime is its own.
Yeah, it's its own
thing in tattooing. The things that like people are doing with like black work and textures and people who like have been continuously pushing like color realism and abstractism and everything. It's just like the tattoos that we're seeing now versus the tattoos we were seeing
then.
Like even 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Mind blowing.
Tattooing. Oh well, like we discussed initially, this will always be a thing. Trad will always be a thing.
But even then, like people with trad are still pushing and doing it differently.
100%.
There's so many different artists in Australia that will do the same trad piece, but everyone will do it like
slightly different,
but like it makes it look so much cooler in a specific way. If anyone knows me, I have a big love for one of my favorite classic trad motifs is like the
is it the climbing panther?
No.
Damn it.
The Marines bulldog, the little bulldog with the
Oh,
helmet.
yeah.
Every time I see a new version of that, I love it.
Really?
It doesn't matter, like I'll see a new one and I'm like, I love that one. And then I'll see another one, I'm like, I love that one too. It's one of those designs that it's the fact that you can draw the bulldog's face in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But it's all recognizable as the exact same flash piece.
Where it came from.
But they're also wildly, slightly different.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite pieces purely for that reason.
That's a good one. What's your, do you have a favorite flash sheet that you've done?
No, I tend to paint them and then
hate them. That seems to be a common thing that y'all do.
No. I'd probably say my Valentine's sheet that I did this year. I really did.
Yeah. There's
a lot of really fun pieces on there that I'm still yet to do. Some flash sheets I tend to despise because there's like one or two designs on there that I really, really want to do. And then no one wants to get those. And they all just want to get the one design on that sheet that I kind of just threw on there to fill space.
Yeah.
And that's the one that everyone wants to fucking get.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I despise you, sheet.
Why do you think that happens? Wait, can we guess which one everyone got on this one?
So I haven't done too many off this sheet.
What?
So that's why I'm like, I love this sheet because no one's really like.
That's crazy. Already, I want that little devil guy. And the woman, he's an absolute cutie.
He's a cutie.
I want the woman.
Yeah, I've done the cowgirl. I've done the Snoopy. I've done the rail spikes. And I've done the love heart sausage dog too.
That one's so good.
Yeah.
That one's quirky as.
Yeah, that one's a play on. It's one that he wraps around a hydrant, but I was like, how about he wraps around a love heart? Because it's Valentine's sheet.
It's so cute.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just drop a sheet because it's like, oh, there's an event coming and I might as well have a flash sheet for it.
Yeah.
The last one I did was like the Brave just won the good old cup. Go the Brave. So I was like, I was at home, wasn't doing much that night. I had done all my drawings, so I was like, oh, still flashy. Celebrate the Brave. And I did the same thing with like the Belko bowl. It's because I'm like,
oh, true, yeah, you did too.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this thing's on. I should do a flash sheet for that. That'd be cool. Yeah, just because like I unfortunately didn't get to any games this year because I've been busy.
You follow it a lot? You like it?
Yeah, I fucking love ice hockey. I was like one of those kids that watched like the Mighty Ducks growing up, and I was like, and wishing like, oh, Mum, can I play like ice hockey? I'm like, son, we live in Australia. We don't have ice rinks unless you're in a major city.
Yeah.
True.
So that's when you moved here to the Big Apple.
Yeah.
No.
But like if you're sleeping on the fact that Canberra's got like the best ice hockey team in Australia, we do. Go watch a game.
It's so random, isn't it?
Yeah. You'll have a great time.
So random.
You'll have a great time.
And it's a good atmosphere at the rink here because it's so like shit. Like
Yes!
the rink
The rink is so shit.
But that's what
small.
makes it cool. Like,
It's what makes it the best. The Brave Cave, it's so good. It's like I'm glad that like we might be getting a bigger stadium, but at the same time, like kind of keep the Brave Cave.
Yeah.
100%. But
yeah, the flashes that you do has inspired us. So we're doing a few flash sets this coming week from some artists around town. So that's what those ideas inspired us here too.
And I think it's the thing is like embracing like stuff that's uniquely Canberra.
Yeah.
Like the guys who like do the Belco Bowl is like fucking amazing because it's like it's seen worldwide and it draws so much attention.
Yeah.
And like I want to like try. We should always try and support other Canberra creatives, businesses, and people who want to make Canberra fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you know, I think a lot of like tattoo studios, we tend to like to sit in our lane and do our thing, but we've got a lot of opportunity to like do some cool shit. And you know, I think we're going to start trying to do that a little bit more here in the studio with like, you know, here in the Sisters Inc. We're going to try and do, you know, some more flash days, some more like charity things, trying to play with other, you know, people who want to get weird with us. Because Sydney and Melbourne get to do all the fun things, you know.
Yeah.
So can we. Let's get weird, guys. Let's do some cool, fun things. But, you know, that's just what I'm thinking.
Absolutely.
We're almost done, dude. I'm just.
It looks so fucking good from here.
I'm just tying up a few little
From all the way up here.
spots. I will say it's the first time I've done like a traditional tattoo with like a full, just like rotary. Normally,
Yeah.
I always line with like a coil.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because what's the difference in like terms of how it sets in the skin and how deep you're going, or how it feels for you with the rotary versus the coils?
Yeah, good question. So like a coil, the main reason why I still use coils and most, I would say like traditional artists use steel coils is the craft. Like it's a trade, it's a craft aspect, and the fact that we have to service our tools.
Yeah.
But those tools give us feedback of what we're doing with the tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do their job, and they do their job well.
Yeah.
You know, you can pick up the multi-tool electric tool that, you know, has a bunch of different attachments and does everything for you, or you can just pick up the hammer and bang it in.
Yeah.
So yeah, normally with like a lining, I mostly use coils or direct drive rotaries that act like coils.
Yeah.
Shaders, I've gotten away with using different rotaries here and there depending on the situation. But yeah, I don't normally pick up like a machine, like a Bishop like this, and just go like, yeah, I'm going to do a full trapeze.
Yeah.
So it's new for me too.
Yeah, cool.
It's more just the way that it works and just the getting used to it. That's all it is with using a tool, is just knowing how to use the tool.
Yeah.
And then
because the coils is it more reactive to like the skin tension, or
so you get a bit more feedback, a little bit more bounce off the skin. There's resistance to the skin.
Disgusting. That's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. While the rotaries have a little bit more, like, they don't have a give. They kind of I'm going in. And you don't get that kind of feedback as much.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things in tattooing, like a lot of people don't play with coils anymore. Most tattooers, depending on their apprenticeships, will just they'll be like given like, here's your machine. And they're like, cool.
True.
So just plug and play.
Yeah.
And they're not taught like how to use a coil, or you know, coils are scary. They make loud noises, and you have to pull them apart and fix them when they break. So like people are like, oh, that's hard. I don't want to do it. But it is like,
I like the coil.
It's part of the fun of it.
Yeah.
Got to put a little bit of rose in the cheeks. I almost forgot to give them some rose in the cheeks.
You can't make them anemic. God, put some freaking rose in the cheeks.
Ah.
My tailbone is actually more sore than my shin.
I always say sitting for the tattoo is worse than the tattoo itself.
Yep.
Normally I would have gotten you up and we would have like had a bit of a stretch and move around.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, we would have to de-mic and that would be...
My booty is on fire.
Yeah, I think this is a nice way...
Office workers of the frontline, man, because this is excruciating. How do y'all sit for so long? I don't understand. Oh, look how rosy.
Yeah, this is a nice way to finish him off by putting his cheeks on. Yeah, I don't think you can do like a trad face without giving him the old rosy cheeks.
No.
It makes the tattoo. There we
That's
go.
so awesome, Josh. I'm not even looking at it properly, but it looks so cool.
Oh!
Oh my god!
And we did the magical thing of we tore exactly the amount of
Oh wow, that never
paper towel we needed.
happens. Actually, do you do that a lot?
Are
you pretty good at that now? Occasionally?
It's happened a few times, but it's always nice when it happens. It's like
That is
just
so
the right
good.
amount of
Especially on the last tattoo of the day, like I guess leftovers. Oh no, because you got to get rid of the whole table. Don't want to be sharing blood.
All right. Now this is the
Oh.
part where I say go check it out in the mirrors and tell me if you like it, if you want to keep it.
Yeah, actually, I've changed my mind. It's awesome. He's so cute.
Perfect. No.
He is perfect.
And I always say thank you so much for getting a tattoo from me.
Thank you so much for giving me a tatty.
Let's do a little behind the scenes shot.
We're gonna have to get another one on the other side.
I think we were talking about Yosemite Sam.
Maybe not him. I've changed my mind on him.
Well, we could always do like a cowboys and Indians thing where he's got the bow.
Yes, let's cowboy. Yeah,
That-
let's
that-
get culturally. No, 100%.
Classic West motifs. Beautiful.
He is beautiful. He's bloody gorgeous. What are we gonna name him?
I always say name your tattoos, especially if it's like a cute little
Yeah.
cat. I always say get a cool name for him. What are you thinking? What does he look like?
I'm thinking Alfie.
I like Alfie.
You like Alfie?
I like a little Alfie.
Or is that too dog?
Not an owl.
Not an owl.
Alfie.
Alfie, because he's a little baby.
Yeah.
He's too fat to be an owl.
He'll
Can
grow.
you twist your leg a little bit towards our camera? Yeah.
No, I like Alfie. I think that Alfie suits him quite well.
God, look how fresh it looks. You know, you don't notice how old your other tattoos look until you get a freshie, and then you're like, oh, that's not black anymore?
The blacks
Oh.
are blacker, the colours are brighter, and you're like, man, that tattoo's fresh.
Yeah, that's a fresh tattoo. Hell yeah.
The trigger's making it stay like that for long.
So how was that experience getting a tattoo
That was awesome.
live to the world?
It was awesome. I feel like it was good actually. Yeah, it was just good. It just felt like a normal tattoo, just with 5 cameras in my face. So, not really actually. All of them were on my leg.
It's kind of like when you get a tattoo, but you bring all your mates, and they're all like doing it for the gram. Like
I've
taking
never
videos.
understood that. Poor friends who have to sit there for 2 hours while you get a tattoo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a beer. If you're gonna get a tattoo, I'm gonna go get a beer.
Yeah.
Awesome work, guys. Before you do
Awesome.
that, we'll wrap it up and end the stream there. But that was
Sorry for clipping the
really
audio
cool.
too. I heard me do that many times.
no, it sounded great, looked great, really cool, and appreciate taking some time to kind of experiment with this little idea. So thank you very much.
Thank you
and,
for having the idea.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Let's do it again.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone watching and for sending your questions our way. But we'll wrap up the night and post some pics of the final piece so everyone can see soon. But take care, everyone, and thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Thanks again.